We are in beautiful Nicaragua. It is nice and sunny and it feels good to be home. I just got back to Nicaragua from Honduras. I just spent 2 days in San Pedro Sula. Now, San Pedro Sula is the second biggest city in Honduras after the capital of Tegucigalpa. Now you may ask, what was I doing in San Pedro Sula? Well, I'm building a coffee farm out here in Nicaragua, and every year there's a coffee event that goes on in Latin America. And that event is called the PRF, Producer Roaster Forum. Ever since I got into the coffee industry, I've always seen this event and I've always wanted to go, but never had the chance. So when I saw that this event was gonna be in Honduras, then I decided to go because it was right next door. Now, what is the event about? Well, the Producer Roaster Forum really has one focus, and that's to bring producers and roasters together once a year so they can network and build relationship and open opportunities. Oftentimes what happens, a producer can't travel out of the country, or they can't go into the US or to Europe to go meet with the end consumer, so it's difficult for them to build relationships. But because this event is happening once a year in Latin America, either Honduras, El Salvador, Colombia, it allows for producers to go with more accessibility. So in my mind, this was for me and I was ready to go, and that's the reason I spent the 2 days there. The event happened in the convention center of San Pedro Sula. It's a beautiful spot and super convenient and easy to get to. Another awesome thing about Honduras is that it has Uber, so you can conveniently get from the airport across everywhere Honduras of San Pedro Sula that you want to get to. Nevertheless, in this video, I'm going to share with you the 5 highlights of the event, what I really loved about it, and what I learned. I hope to share this with you to give you full transparency behind the coffee industry. So let's jump in with highlight number 1. Tomorrow's a big day. I'm gonna be presenting, so I need to practice my speech. I need to make sure I have it memorized. I'm gonna be on stage in front of a bunch of people. There's also gonna be a bunch of booths, so I'm gonna take you guys all over to check out what kind of coffee event this is, and you get to meet a bunch of new awesome people. So it's gonna be a jam-packed day. Now, these highlights are not in a particular order, so let's start with number 1. Number 1 was speaking at the event. So not only did I get to go as an absorber, as a viewer, as a first-time person, I got to speak at the event. Before the event even took place, they were asking for people or speakers that wanted to stand up and speak at the event. So I thought it would be a great opportunity to speak. And the reason was I had a topic that I wanted to share with the producers. And that topic was how to use social media to build your business and strengthen your relationship. And the reason I want to speak about that is because I'm passionate. Like, over these past few years, together we've grown this channel, we've grown Instagram, and I've gotten to see the positive impact content creation has as a producer. So after I submitted my article, my speech, I sat back and I thought, well, we'll wait and see if it gets approved, and boom, little you know, it got approved. And I was on the list to be a speaker. So showing up to the event, you could feel the energy in the room. There was a lot of people in the industry. What's cool about showing up is that you have one thing in common, and that is that these people are passionate and love coffee and are there for coffee. So it makes it easier to interact and build upon that foundation there when you're trying to meet someone new. But either way, when you enter, you get greeted by a bunch of booths. They're everywhere. You have roasters on one corner. You have people competing because they have some competition, so they were doing some cupping. You had people roasting coffee on roasting machines. You had people serving coffee. I drank over 8 cups of coffee that day. And you had a little bit of everything sprinkled in there. You had coffee bag manufacturers, like people who designed the coffee bags, coffee exporters, coffee buyers. It was like if you died and you went to coffee heaven, to be honest. It was just freaking amazing. On the other side of those booths was the event where people were gonna be speaking. And there you got to walk in, and throughout the day you get to go in and out and listen to people speak. And these speakers were hand-selected to talk about what's important in the industry nowadays. I got to learn about the C market pricing, the tendencies in Europe, how to make organic fertilizer at the farm, and a couple other things that I'll tell you later. But either way, my speech was early in the morning. All right, guys, about to go up pretty soon, and yeah. It's 9:15 to 9:45. That is your good homeboy right there. Just finished the presentation. I couldn't film for you guys. There will be a version of it on the website for PRF that I will link later in the future. But now we gotta go check out what's going on inside. I was nervous. I think it went well. Sort of blacked out, but we'll see how it goes. I felt good doing something that made me uncomfortable and doing something that I love to talk about because I want people to be able to use these tools to get new opportunities. But that was the highlight number one, was speaking at this event and not only going as a viewer, but being part of the event. Let's go on to highlight número dos. Number two was building relationships and meeting new people. So walking around the event, I already had some people in mind that I wanted to meet because on LinkedIn, I follow them. And so they post articles, they share their thoughts on the coffee industry. And so I'm always trying to learn and see what new things are coming about. So one of the first people I met actually when I showed up was Henry. Henry is actually the owner and the organizer of everything here in this event. So just doing a quick vlog for the channel. So now the viewers will see you and they'll recognize you.
Big fan of the channel.
Yeah, so question for you, right? End consumers can come if you're like really interested in coffee and stuff like that. You just want to...
Of course, everyone's welcome. I mean, it has a B2B focus, the event.
Yeah.
The goal is to connect producers and roasters to facilitate business.
Yes, yeah.
So we have producers of all levels, from smallholder producers with a relatively small farm, all the way up to exporters and cooperatives who represent a large number of farmers.
All right.
And what makes this event special is that we have hundreds of roasters from about 60 different countries.
Wow.
Who travel here to transact and to meet producers.
Wow.
So if you're a farmer in particular, is a great place to come to meet.
Okay, perfect.
In terms of consumers, of course, they're welcome. We have the barista competition, we have roasting competition, cold brew competition, cacao competition. We have 2 cupping rooms where you can do coffee tasting. We have a workshop.
Wow, amazing.
Stands.
So if you're an end consumer, you have to be an enthusiast, I guess, because you have a lot going on here. Well, thank you, Henry. And if you see Henry out in the streets, tell him hi, you know.
Thanks.
This whole company is amazing, and their main purpose is to build a relationship between the producer and the roaster. That is for the producer-roaster form, but for Perfect Daily Grind Inteligencia, he maintains the world informed of what's going on in the world of coffee. So they write articles, what trends, educational articles, entertainment, all about the coffee industry. So I got to meet him, chopped it up with him. It was cool because he's been an inspiration in the coffee industry when he first started, and I got to see him years ago build up what he's doing now. I talked to him, he showed me around, he introduced me to some people, and I felt very welcome, so it was cool. The second person that was super excited to meet was Bob and Michelle. So the cool thing about Bob and Michelle, they're the owners of Big B Coffee, and they're actually a huge company in the States. They have over 400 franchises of coffee shops. So if you've tried Big B Coffee, comment below. I want to see if there's any Big B fans out there. So if you're a producer or a roaster and you have something in mind, this is your spot. This is what it's about. It's about showing up and building that relationship. And if you've been to this event before, you show up and you maintain your relationships, you see the people again, and you get to catch up, you know? So that was highlight number 2. Let's move on to number 3 now. All right, guys, day número 2. Let's see what they got going on today. We need to judge some of the podiums that they have in stands at PRF. So that's part of the agenda today. And also we want to catch some lectures that they have going on and get to meet more people and do some networking. Last night we had an awesome get together at a brewery here in San Pedro Sula, about 2 kilometers from here. And it was nice. It was a lot of people, got to meet a couple roasters, just people in coffee in general. And I'm starting to realize the benefits of something like this for a producer. You just socialize, create connections, and get to meet people in the industry and build relationships. And that is a great opportunities for producers, for them to be able to advance their business, their farms, and everything else. So let's go check it out. It is a hot day today. Let's cross the street without getting hit by a car. Adios! Picking the best stand is gonna be a little bit hard. Hola, buenos días, ¿cómo está? Hola, buenos días. ¿Cuáles tienen?
Está este.
¿Cuál es tu favorito ahí? Ese, ojo, ok. ¿Este es un lavado natural o qué?
Los dos son lavados.
Ah, los dos son lavados. ¿De qué parte de Honduras? De Pira, ok, está bien. ¿Y ustedes son una cooperativa o finca?
Somos una exportadora de café.
Ah, exportadora de café ya, ok. Está delicioso, muy rico, muchas gracias. Ayer conocí a Miguel cuando andaba buscando café, pero contarle un poco a la audiencia ahorita viendo el video de tu historia un poquito.
Bueno, nosotros somos Cadexa, somos una empresa familiar, yo soy la cuarta generación, todo empezó con mi bisabuelo, somos de La Paz, originarios de La Paz, específicamente de la zona de Marcala, y pues ayer tuve el gusto de conocerte, Elton, y pues te di a probar un poco de lo que viene siendo el sabor de nuestra tierra.
Estaba delicioso, muy bueno.
Hubiera un catuay amarillo, el cual nosotros ahorita estamos incursionando en lo que vienen siendo los cafés de microlotes.
Ajá.
En esto ya está trabajando mi mamá, mi papá, pues...
Es que corre en la sangre de ustedes, lo que estoy viendo
sí.
ya.
Sí, o sea, nosotros no tenemos sangre, tenemos café ya.
Sí. ¿Y este es tu primer PRF aquí o...?
Sí, este es mi primer
Ah,
PRF.
¿en serio?
Me mandaron a mí, me dijeron ya tenés que empezar a conocer gente.
Ah, qué bueno, es importante, ¿verdad? Sí.
Porque ya somos la siguiente generación.
¿Cómo lo sentiste del evento?
Está bien bonito, está bien interesante. Se logra probar diferentes cafés, otras cualidades. Y también algo bien interesante que se logra ver en este tipo de eventos es nosotros producimos también y café 90,
Ajá.
pero en otras regiones también los producen y cambia bastante las notas que da el café.
Interesante.
Te puedo recomendar, aquí hay unos que están en el puesto de Cesal, ellos tienen un natural de café 90 con notas a whisky.
Ajá.
Nosotros tenemos un café 90 con notas a chocolatada.
Ajá.
Por el tipo de zona.
Ah.
Es bien interesante.
Ya, tenés razón, porque diferentes regiones, diferentes tipos de condiciones de suelo, clima.
Todo eso
Entonces,
afecta bastante y también los procesos que se realizan.
Mis seguidores son como les gusta tomar bastante café y si ellos quieren venir a conocer la caficultura en Honduras, ¿les puede visitar a ustedes?
Por supuesto que sí,
Ok.
lo recibimos con los brazos abiertos. Nosotros contamos con fincas en lo que viene siendo la zona de Marcala.
Ajá.
Y pues Marcala es un pueblo mágico.
Ah, ok,
Entonces,
perfecto.
No solo es café, hay bastante familiaridad, la gente es bien cariñosa, bien amable, siempre lo reciben con los brazos abiertos.
Ajá.
Hay diferentes actividades que se pueden hacer en la zona, hay un montón de cascadas, senderismo.
Oh, wow.
Hay unas bicicletas que es como canopy, entonces tú vas en un...
Wow, ya me vendiste, ahí llego mañana, entonces. Entonces te buscamos como Cadexa en Instagram. Voy a poner tu Instagram en los comentarios abajo y un placer a Miguel, mucho gusto. So before even going to the event, one of the PRF people that work there, that's part of the team, her name's Emmy, she asked me to be a judge and judge who had the best booth across the whole event. And there was quite a few booths, so I spent quite a bit of time walking around, getting to see them, talking to the people at the booth and seeing the designs and what they're showcasing. So it was pretty cool to get to interact with people that I normally wouldn't because I was judging their booth. Because I wanted to be fair and I wanted to see what was the purpose behind it, right? So I needed to talk to them. So overall, after spending the whole day, I ended up picking a booth from Nicaragua because I felt that they represented best the producer. And it turns out I found out later that there was another judge in the mix and she had picked a different company. So I got to meet with her and she was from Italy. She was amazing. We both went to each other's booths that we had to pick. And I left it up to her, to be honest. I was like, look, I see why you picked yours, but this is why I picked mine. After talking to them, who do you pick? And she said she loved the booth from Nicaragua. So she picked the booth from Nicaragua and that's what ended up winning. And that was a highlight because it allowed me to introduce myself. Even though I didn't tell them I was just judging their booth, I went because I just wanted to get information and be fair in the whole process. So that was a pretty cool experience there. All right, guys, they are about to announce some winners here, and today they're gonna announce best booth, best volunteer, best conferist, and Henry was telling me they're also doing a giveaway for $10,000, which they're gonna go more into detail, so it's gonna be pretty epic. I'm pretty excited, so I'm gonna grab a seat here. Picking the best booth was a little bit harder than I thought. We put a lot into consideration, like when you showed up, how they told you the story about origin. Really wanted to feel the culture of the origin country and the producer. That's what we wanted to see, you know, we want to feel the authenticity. And I believe that's the best one that we found out of all of them. So I'm excited. Right now we're sitting down and they're gonna announce some of the winners here in today's events. That's been freaking spectacular. An awesome thing that happened. Actually, the last thing that happened was awards. So they had a Global Coffee Awards, and this is where they brought people on stage and they presented them with trophies, cash prizes, and other prizes too. Like, for example, the competitions they had for roasting, cupping, competitions for best booth. I got to see the people from Nicaragua go up and get a trophy. They also gave money away for producers that are working on projects at Origin, and this wasn't like $200. These are like $1,000, $3,000, $4,500. So they were good change and good money that was being given to these people. So it was just cool to sit back and be on the audience side and get to absorb, watch these people just receive recognition. To me, I thought that was amazing, and the fact that this event is pushing that forward, I definitely felt like I was at the right place, you know.
El café no solo nos transforma la vida a nosotros, sino también a todas las personas que están alrededor de nosotros. Gracias a PRF.
Another cool thing that happened to me at the event was that I got to run into the Mayorga team again. I ran into Regina and Karen, and they had visited me here in Nicaragua about 4 months ago, where we went to my farm. We spent 2 days together. We worked on some projects at my farm where we planted some trees. We improved the conditions of the workers. I got to see them again at PRF, and we chatted up, we caught up, and I got to sit back and watch what Mayorga is doing in the industry. And it was cool to see that they had actually sponsored a bunch of producers to come out to the event. So you saw producers everywhere wearing the Mayorga shirt. It was a yellow shirt. It was their first time at the event, and thanks to Mayorga and the PRF team, they managed to come out, network, and meet new people. They also hosted a community meetup before the first day, before I even spoke, like at 8:30 in the morning, to get to listen to questions from their producers and making sure that they're being heard. So that was a big highlight for me, to see how you can be a positive impact as a company to the producers, like Big B, like PRF, and like Mayorga and what they're doing. And that's what it's about, honestly, is making sure that you're building together and you're serving this delicious cup of coffee. And when you drink it, you can feel that there's a good impact behind it. Not only the person that roasted it, sold it, the person who produced it, all the way down to the roots in the ground. I was happy I went to the event and I got to check that off the list. Speaking at an event, check that off too. Being uncomfortable on stage, check that off too. Meeting awesome people, check that off. It was overall amazing. If you're an end consumer, let's say you just an aficionado for coffee and passionate for it, you can still come to the event. I did meet a son and dad team that live in Honduras, and they saw there was a coffee event and they signed up and went. They got to try some delicious coffee, and at the end of the day you get to educate yourself and see a lot more. If you're thinking about starting a coffee company, then it would be a good place to come hear some speakers and also socialize and network and maybe potentially make a connection that's near you, or connect with the producer if you want to start working directly. So overall, there's a little bit for everyone, and the mix depending on what stage of your walking path you are. Well guys, PRF was amazing. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in next week's video. Is your Coffee Familia signing off. Hey, pregunta. Necesito un viaje para Nicaragua. ¿En qué lo puedo encontrar?
Para ti, al fondo.
¿Cómo se llama?
Al fondo.
El fondo. Ok, muchas gracias.